Welcome to our deep dive into Genesis chapter 1,
Yeah.
where we'll be exploring this idea of creation as a love letter from God.
Okay.
We're not just digging into ancient history here,
Right.
but rather looking at what this first chapter of the Bible reveals about God and our place in the universe even today.
It's fascinating how this account isn't just like a dry list of facts.
Yeah.
It's poetry. It's theology. It's
Mm.
like a foundation for understanding our relationship with the divine.
Exactly. And the question we're going to explore together is this. What does it mean when God looks at all he's created and declares it good?
Right.
It's more than just a passing grade, right?
Yeah.
Let's unpack this, starting with day 1.
Okay.
Let there be light.
You know, light represents so much more than just like the absence of darkness.
Yeah.
In the context of Genesis, it symbolizes the emergence of order from chaos.
Okay.
It's the presence of God pushing back the void.
Mm-hmm.
Have you ever noticed how a dark room can feel heavy, even scary?
Oh, yeah,
But when you switch on a light, it's like a weight lifts.
totally.
Right. You can see clearly, navigate safely.
Yeah.
Genesis suggests that's how God's presence works in our lives, too. Bringing order and peace out of chaos.
I love that analogy.
Yeah.
It really brings it to life. It's like light brings clarity and hope, even on a spiritual level.
Yeah.
And it makes me think about how my mood is different on a bright, sunny day
Right.
versus like a gloomy one.
Absolutely.
But-
That sense of hope is crucial because in the beginning, the earth was formless and empty darkness was over the surface of the deep.
Right.
It was from that void that God spoke light into being
Yeah.
and saw that it was good.
So then we move into days 2 and 3,
Okay.
where God establishes structure and sustenance.
Yeah.
He separates the waters, creating the sky,
Mm-hmm.
then gathers the waters to form land,
Right.
and then bam, vegetation explodes forth.
Wow.
It's like God is this amazing architect and gardener all in one, creating this incredible foundation for life.
What's interesting here is that God doesn't just create, he nurtures.
Okay.
The earth is commanded to bring forth vegetation, implying an ongoing life-giving process.
Yeah.
It's like he's breathing life into it continually.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
It's like the earth itself is given a role in the creative process.
Right.
What do you think that says about the relationship between God and creation?
It suggests a deep interconnectedness,
Okay.
a partnership. Even
Mm.
God empowers creation to participate in its own flourishing. It's not
Mm.
just a one-time act.
Right.
But like a continuous flow of divine energy.
It makes you appreciate the interconnectedness of it all, right?
Yeah.
We depend on the earth for sustenance.
Right.
And the earth, in a way, depends on God's sustaining power.
Yeah.
Okay, so we've seen God establish the foundations of earth.
Mm-hmm.
Now on day 4,
Yeah.
he turns his attention to the heavens.
Yes. On day 4, we encounter the celestial wonders.
Okay.
The sun, moon, and stars appear,
Right.
not just as pretty decoration, but as markers of time, signs of God's power and wisdom on a cosmic scale.
You know, I get that feeling when I look at the Milky Way on a clear night.
Mm-hmm.
It's humbling,
Yeah.
but also awe-inspiring to realize we're part of this vast, intricate universe.
It's incredible.
Even with all our scientific knowledge,
Right.
the universe still holds mysteries that boggle the mind.
Imagine the ancients looking up at the night sky,
Yeah.
filled with awe and wonder.
Oh, yeah?
They didn't have telescopes or space probes.
Right.
Yet the vastness of the universe would have been a powerful testament to the Creator's power.
And there's a sense of order there, too.
Right.
Time itself is regulated by the sun and moon,
Yeah.
hinting at this underlying rhythm to creation.
Mm-hmm.
It's like a cosmic clock set in motion by God.
A constant established by the Creator on day 4, no less.
Wow.
And this sets the stage for days 5 and 6,
Okay.
where life bursts forth in all its amazing diversity.
Exactly. First, the waters and skies teem with creatures.
Yeah.
Fish, birds, every shape and size imaginable.
It's incredible.
It's like God just throws this incredible party of life,
Yeah.
blessing this abundance, this incredible variety,
Right.
and commands it all to multiply.
It's a beautiful image of life's inherent drive to flourish,
Yeah.
to fill every niche,
Right.
to express itself in countless forms.
Mm-hmm.
Even today, with all we know about evolution and adaptation,
Yeah.
it's hard not to feel a sense of awe at the sheer diversity of life on Earth.
It's amazing.
It's like God saying, look at all this amazing potential I've packed into creation.
It's a reminder to appreciate biodiversity, right?
Yeah,
Each creature has its role, its
Right.
place in this intricate web of life. It's all connected.
it is.
And then finally, in this grand symphony of creation, humanity enters the scene.
Created in God's image.
Mm.
We are introduced as a unique creation reflecting creativity,
Yeah.
reason, relationships, and the call to care for all that has come before.
I've always wondered about this idea of being created in God's image.
Right.
It feels so profound,
Hmm.
but I'm not sure I fully understand it.
Yeah.
It's not about physically looking like God.
It's certainly not about physical resemblance. It's
Right.
about something much deeper. If
Whoa.
it's not about looking like God, what aspects of our being reflect the divine?
Right.
Is it our capacity for love,
Yeah.
our creativity,
Yeah.
our ability to reason and make moral choices?
Right.
These are the qualities that set us apart
Mhm.
and point to a divine spark within us.
Welcome back to our deep dive into Genesis chapter 1.
Thanks for having me back.
Before we pause, we were discussing the profound concept of humanity being created in God's image.
It's a powerful idea, right?
It is.
It suggests we have a unique responsibility in creation,
Mm-hmm.
but it also raises questions like
Mhm.
if creation is inherently good,
Yeah.
how do we as humans live in a way that reflects that?
That's a good question.
How do we honor the Creator's intention?
It's both a challenge and an invitation.
Yeah.
Genesis 1 isn't just an ancient story.
Yes. It's like a guidebook for living in harmony
Okay.
with God, with each other, and with the natural world.
But sometimes it feels overwhelming, like the world's facing such huge issues.
Right.
What difference can one person really make?
Well, let's break it down into some practical steps.
Okay.
Inspired by Genesis 1.
Hmm.
First, simply recognizing the goodness of creation.
Okay.
It sounds basic,
Yeah.
but in our busy lives, we often forget to look around and appreciate the beauty that surrounds us.
It's so true. We take it for granted.
We do.
The sunrise, the trees, even the air we breathe.
Yeah,
It's like we're so bombarded with information and stimulation
right.
that we become numb to the everyday miracles around us.
Exactly. Take a few minutes each day to truly see the world around you.
Okay.
Notice the intricate details of a flower,
Mm-hmm.
the patterns in the clouds,
Yeah.
the sound of birdsong.
Right.
These are all expressions of God's creativity.
Yeah.
Little love notes scattered throughout creation.
And it doesn't have to be some grand scenic vista, right?
Not at all.
I remember this one time I was feeling super stressed,
Uh-huh.
and I just stopped to look at this tiny little weed
Yeah.
pushing its way up through a crack in the sidewalk. It was such a simple thing,
Yeah.
but it reminded me of life's resilience,
Yeah,
its beauty.
absolutely. The key is to cultivate a sense of wonder, of gratitude for even the simplest gifts of creation.
Right.
It's about shifting our perspective from what we lack to what we've been given.
Okay, so that's step one.
Yeah.
Recognize the goodness.
Right.
What's next?
Next is caring for the earth.
Okay.
Genesis emphasizes humanity's role as stewards of creation.
Mhm.
We're not just here to enjoy it.
Right.
We're called to care for it, to protect it.
This is where it starts to feel overwhelming for me.
Yeah.
Global warming, pollution, deforestation.
Right.
It feels like these massive problems are spiraling out of control.
I understand.
What can I, as one person, actually do to make a difference?
It's true that these are complex issues.
Yeah, but don't underestimate the power of individual choices.
Yeah.
Every little action adds up. It's like we've been given this incredible garden to tend,
Right?
not just to pluck flowers from.
Yeah.
What does it mean for you to be a responsible gardener of the earth?
Give me some examples.
Okay.
What are some practical things I can do in my everyday life?
Simple things. Reduce, reuse, recycle.
Okay.
Be mindful of your energy consumption.
Mm-hmm.
Choose sustainable products whenever possible.
Right.
Support organizations working to protect the environment.
Okay.
It's not about being perfect.
Yeah.
It's about making conscious choices that align with our role as caretakers.
Okay, those are all doable.
They are.
And I guess if everyone made those small changes, it
Yeah.
could have a ripple effect
Yeah.
and lead to bigger change.
Exactly. It's about shifting our mindset
Okay.
from consumption to stewardship.
Mm.
Remembering that we're part of this interconnected web of life.
Yeah.
Our actions have consequences not just for ourselves, but for the whole ecosystem.
So recognize the goodness, care for the earth.
Yeah.
What's the third step in living out this love letter from God?
Living in harmony with creation.
Okay.
This builds on the previous two steps.
Mhm.
It's about recognizing that we're not separate from nature,
Right.
but part of it.
So it's about finding that balance, right?
Yes.
Meeting our needs without exploiting the earth's resources,
Exactly.
but in a world that's constantly pushing us to consume more.
Yeah.
How do we resist that pressure and live more simply?
It's a constant challenge,
Yeah.
but it starts with awareness.
Okay.
Ask yourself, How can I live in a way that minimizes my impact
Mm-hmm.
and contributes to the health and well-being of the planet?
Right.
It might mean simplifying your lifestyle,
Okay.
consuming less,
Yeah.
and being more mindful of your choices.
It's easy to get caught up in the busyness of life
Uh-huh.
and forget our connection to the natural world.
Right.
I know for me, spending time in nature,
Yeah.
even just a short walk in the park, helps me reconnect and remember what's truly important.
It's good.
It's like nature is a form of therapy, a way to restore our souls and remember our place in the grand scheme of things.
That's a beautiful way to put it.
Thanks.
And speaking of finding meaning,
Yeah.
that brings us to our fourth step.
Okay.
Genesis 1 invites us to see creation
Mm.
not just as a collection of objects,
Right.
but as a reflection of the Creator's character.
Okay.
It's like nature is a window into understanding God.
So by observing the intricate design of a flower,
Yes.
the power of a thunderstorm,
Mm-hmm.
or the vastness of the night sky,
Right.
we're actually catching glimpses of God's power,
Yep.
creativity, and wisdom.
Precisely. It's like a hidden language, a code waiting to be deciphered.
Yeah.
The more we understand nature,
Mm.
the more we understand God.
Right.
And the more we understand God,
Yeah.
the more we understand ourselves and our place in creation.
Okay.
It's a beautiful, interconnected cycle.
So we've covered recognizing the goodness, caring for the earth,
Hmm.
living in harmony,
Right.
and finding meaning in creation.
Yeah.
What's the final step on this journey of appreciating God's love letter to us?
Mm.
We've been unpacking Genesis chapter 1,
Right.
exploring creation as this amazing love letter from God,
Yeah.
a letter that's full of purpose and beauty.
Absolutely.
But there's this one word that keeps coming up
Mm-hmm.
that I think we need to dig into a bit deeper.
Okay.
What does it really mean when God looks at all he's made
Right.
and calls it good?
It's a word that holds so much weight
Yeah.
and meaning in this context.
Right.
It's not just a casual thumbs up
Right.
or like God's grading a test.
Yeah.
It goes much deeper than that.
Okay.
It speaks to a state of completeness,
Mm.
wholeness,
Yeah.
alignment with a divine purpose.
Okay.
It's about everything working together in harmony,
Right.
reflecting the intention and heart of the Creator.
So it's like this perfectly tuned orchestra,
Yeah.
every instrument playing its part, contributing to the overall beauty and harmony of the music.
That's a great analogy.
Thank
And
you.
remember, this goodness
Oh.
isn't simply about following rules
Mm.
or being morally perfect.
Right.
It's about fulfilling potential,
Okay.
about things being in their rightful place,
Mm-hmm.
about life flourishing in all its magnificent diversity.
And that's where things get really interesting for us as humans, right?
It is.
Because we're part of this creation too.
We are.
We're called very good, along with everything else.
What's fascinating is that this declaration of goodness
Yeah.
challenges our typical understanding of the word.
Okay.
We often think of good as the opposite of bad.
Right.
But in Genesis 1, it's more about wholeness,
Mm-hmm.
about everything working together as it should.
Yeah.
It's like a perfectly baked cake.
Okay.
All the ingredients combined in the right proportions
Right.
to create something delicious.
Yeah.
That's the kind of wholeness we see in creation.
I'm starting to see this in a whole new light. It's like looking at a tapestry
Yeah.
where every thread,
Mm-hmm.
even the darker ones,
Right.
contributes to the overall beauty of the design.
Exactly. That's a wonderful way to picture it.
Thanks.
It suggests that even the things we might perceive as bad or difficult
Yeah.
have a role to play in the overall goodness of creation.
That's a mind bender.
It is,
But it makes sense.
Yeah.
I mean, even in our own lives,
right?
challenges and difficulties can lead to growth and resilience.
Think about a forest fire.
Yeah.
It might seem destructive at first,
Right.
but it actually clears out dead wood
Mm-hmm.
and makes space for new life to flourish.
So even in those moments that feel painful or chaotic,
Yeah.
there's an underlying goodness,
Right.
a purpose that we might not fully grasp in the moment.
And this brings us back to that beautiful idea of Genesis 1 as a love letter from Gad.
Mm.
It's a message of hope,
Yeah.
a reminder that even in the midst of brokenness and confusion, there's an underlying goodness, a divine purpose weaving everything together.
That's a powerful message for us today,
It is.
especially in a world that often feels far from good.
Yeah.
It's a reminder that there's always hope,
Mhm.
that even in the darkest of times, there's a light shining through.
Absolutely. And if we can tap into that sense of underlying goodness,
Yeah.
it can transform the way we see the world and our place in it.
So practically speaking,
Yeah.
How do we live in a way that embodies this deeper understanding of good?
Right.
What does it look like to live out this love letter in our daily lives?
It's about aligning ourselves with God's purpose,
Okay.
with the inherent goodness of creation.
Mhm.
It's about recognizing our interconnectedness with all things,
Yeah.
about acting as stewards of this incredible gift we've been given.
Right.
It's about living with intention,
Okay.
with purpose,
Hmm.
with gratitude for the gift of life and the beauty that surrounds us.
It's about remembering that we're not just passive recipients of this love letter, but active participants in the unfolding story of creation.
Precisely. And it's about trusting
Okay.
that even in the midst of challenges, God's goodness is still at work,
Yeah.
weaving together a tapestry of beauty and hope.
This has been such an incredible deep dive.
It has.
It feels like we've only just scratched the surface
Yeah.
of this profound chapter of Genesis.
Mhm.
We've explored creation
Mhm.
as a love letter from God,
We have.
unpacked the deeper meaning of good,
Right.
and discovered practical ways to live in harmony with God's purpose.
And as we wrap up our exploration of Genesis 1,
Yeah.
I'll leave you with this final thought.
Okay.
If creation is a love letter,
Hmm.
what message is it whispering to you today?
That's a good one.
What unique role do you play in this grand symphony of goodness?
That's a beautiful question to ponder as we go about our day.
It is.
Thank you for joining us on this deep dive into Genesis 1.
It was my pleasure.
Until next time,
Yes.
keep exploring,
Mm-hmm.
keep questioning, and keep seeking the goodness that surrounds you.